Good evening, friends. It is with joy that we come into your midst once again to leave with you one or two thoughts that might be of assistance to you in your pathway through earth. Tonight we want to speak to you about some of the ideas that you have of spiritualism, some of the questions that you want to ask, some of the puzzles that seem to you to be inherent in your religion. We want first to speak about healing. Healing is a prerogative of all men. Spiritualists do not have a monopoly of it. Anyone who is sincere, who is genuine, who can link up with spirit, has the power to heal. It need not necessarily be healing by laying on of hands, by massage, by medicine, whether it's homeopathic or ordinary. Healing comes from spirit. Often it seems to you, when you have sent out healing thoughts, there seems to be no apparent improvement in the patient, and you wonder whether it is worthwhile. One thing which is important is to realize that whatever thoughts you send out, whether they actually heal physically or not, you are helping another soul, another spirit. You know, because you are spiritualists, that you have a spirit within you that is functioning in a body of matter, a body of earth. And you also know that you have come to the earth plane in order to learn some kind of lesson. Those lessons often can only be learnt as a result of physical suffering of one kind or another. Because you have a body of earth, because you have inherited genes from your parents, because you have been exposed to diseases of one sort or another, so you cannot expect to go through earth life without your body suffering in some way. Spirit healing can give assistance to the body, but it is only assistance. But always spirit healing can give help to the soul, to the spirit. Quite often, people who are ill upon earth do not turn to spirit healers until they have exhausted the resources of the medical profession. And when they come to you from a bodily point of view, they have gone too far down the road, and their body cannot be healed. But if you give healing, if you reach out to spirit and send the power to the people who suffer, you will find that pain can be relieved. And if they are coming towards the end of their days upon earth, then by your healing you can ensure that they have a peaceful passing. Sometimes you can speak to someone you heal of spirit matters. Perhaps they will accept it. Perhaps they think it is complete nonsense. But it makes no difference to their spirit, because that responds to the healing. We do not suggest that the progress that has been made in physical medicine is wrong. We do not think that every person who suffers should only receive spirit help. The power of God, the power of spirit, works through the doctors, through the physicians, through the surgeons, through the scientists, through the great inventors who have discovered one cure after another for the ills of earth. It has to be a two-way effort. Work from the physical angle and work from the spiritual angle. And your task as spiritualists is to give the help that you can to spirit. When people come to the earth plane from spirit, they come with a definite idea, whether they realize it or not, of how long they have to be on the earth plane, the lessons that they have got to learn while they are here, and the time when they have to return to the spirit world. Sometimes their time upon earth is very short. Sometimes it is very long. Sometimes it seems as though people can sail through life without any physical illnesses at all, while someone else struggles the whole way through. Souls choose what they should do, the kind of life that they want, the efforts that they have to make in order that they can learn the lessons that are necessary for their growth in spirit. When you come to the end of your life upon earth, and you pass over the veil that you call death, you pass into another life. You leave behind your body infirmities. But if your body has suffered for quite a while before you pass to spirit, it is necessary for you to have a period of rest in order that you can recover from the shock of passing from a world of matter to a world of spirit. That is why, quite often, when someone you love has passed over, you may not hear from them for some while. Sometimes they can come through very quickly and give you a message to show you that they are still alive, that they know where they are. And then they have to have their period of rest. Those on the other side of life, spirits who have taken their time upon earth, who have learned their lessons in some sort of manner, whether well or whether ill, come to spirit and start learning all over again. You can help them by giving them your love, giving them your comfort, giving them your knowledge of spirit, your knowledge of life eternal. Never despair when you give your healing. Remember that in healing you are doing the work for God. Another way in which you quite often find yourself coming up against problems upon earth is when you hear from mediums speaking to you from platforms and you are told that you have guides, helpers, spirit friends, and so many of them are given as nuns or monks or Red Indians. Remember, nuns and monks in particular have lived a life upon earth shut away from the ordinary world. During their time upon earth, they chose to spend their days in prayer, in meditation, in work within the monastery or the nunnery, and had very little contact with the ordinary world. Surely, you should not be surprised that when they get to spirit, they want to renew their links with earth in order that they can experience through you the contact with ordinary men and women. Mediumship is a two-way affair. Spirit comes through in order to help you, if at all possible, but also because Spirit wants to learn from you. You are as important to the spirit world as the spirit world is important to you. And if you have gifts of mediumship in one form or another, and everyone upon earth has some gift within themselves, then it is up to you to use that gift to the best of your ability, knowing that Spirit will help you to help others. Why do you have Red Indians as guides? It is because when Spirit comes to the earth plane to link with someone, they take with them a form that they used to know. And the Red Indians were a race who lived very close to nature, very close to God. And so it is not surprising that so many of your helpers will appear as Red Indians. There is no such thing as nationality on the other side. There is no such thing as different colours of people. When you get beyond the grave, when you begin to realise where you are, when you begin to make progress in the spirit world, it will not matter whether you are red or brown or black or yellow or red. You will be spirit. You will live by thought and in thought. That may be a difficult problem for you to think about. And yet, when you consider the number of waves that there are in your world at the present time that you know of, you have your radio, your television, you have your infrared and your ultraviolet, and so on. Those waves have always been there. They are not just a new invention. It was just that man did not realise them, did not know anything about them. So it is with spirit. That is all around you, although you cannot see it, unless you are clairvoyant, unless you are linked up with spirit. The vibrations that come to you from the spirit world will always be there, as they always have been. And if you can touch them, if you can translate them into images in your mind, into words in your ears, then you will have begun to develop, as you term it. You will have begun to be a medium. But as we said on our last visit to you, it is not necessary to be a medium to work for God. In the reading that you heard tonight, the most important thing that was emphasized was love. Love that means giving of yourself to all those with whom you come into contact, giving of your help, understanding, listening, sympathizing, giving counsel where it is possible for you to do so, and all the time sending out your love to the people who come to you for help. There are many problems when you start looking into spiritualism, and you will find many different things that seem to contradict one another. But what we would say to you is what we always say, that within you there is a spirit, and when you hear anything, you have to take it, think about it, decide whether it makes sense to you, and if it does, accept it. But if the idea is abhorrent to you, if you find you are not in sympathy with the point of view, then put it on one side. Leave it. Don't dismiss it out of hand. Every one of you probably has a different viewpoint now from what you did years ago. So, as you travel through life, each of the ideas that comes into your mind has to be looked at, has to be examined, has to be accepted if you can accept it, has to be shelved if you can't. Always remember that spiritualism is so simple that a child can understand it, and yet so complicated that people can spend their whole lifetimes investigating and trying to put it into various categories, trying to make formulas that will explain it, trying to prove it in laboratory by experiments. There's no need for any of that. All you have to realize is that your religion should be a religion of love. Love not only for your fellow men and women with whom you meet every day, not only for your immediate families, but a love for every person upon your world, for the criminal as well as the victim, for those who sin, as you term it, as well as for those who are saints. God is within every single person, every single thing that has life upon earth, and your love must reach out to that God. You must also learn to love yourselves, to remember that God is within you, that you, as the Bible puts it, are made in his image, not a physical image, but a spiritual image. If you try to send love to everyone you meet, then when you come to the end of your time upon earth and step over the border into the next world, you will take with you a spirit that has grown, that has developed, that has learned its lessons upon earth, a spirit that will be able to progress in the next stage of life. We leave you with our blessing, praying that always you will be aware of your duality, your earthly body and your spiritual soul. Good night, and God bless you all.
Yes.